Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Cimnanya. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across this video that really got me. And sincerely speaking, the truth is that the evil that happened during slavery is just enormous. That sometimes when you hear them, you are absolutely in shock and don't know how to act and the rest of it. So I think her name is Daisy Turner, right? So she was talking about how bad. They asked her how bad was slavery. So she was like, it can't be any worse, you know. And so she talked about how her father almost got sold out, and how men, what they do is to rape, right, and breed kids. When they breed kids, when you have your child, when you give birth, they take the child away from you and away. You know, it's more like the breeding plantation, but I don't understand, you know. This one, this particular one hits differently, knowing that you carried a child for 9 months, but you had your baby, but you don't have, I mean, like, you delivered, but your big child is not with you. I mean, it's really disgusting. Let's get into this video.
How bad was slavery, Daisy? How
It
bad?
couldn't be any worse there. I just keep trying to tell you. Can anything be any worse when a white man was having children by the Negro slave women and then putting them up for sale on the block? Putting it for my father, they wanted to sell my father for a breeder for $12,000 when he was 12 years old. And old Golden, John Golden, was the rich planter. He wouldn't sell him for that. This lady that was in this room this morning is from New Orleans, one of the women. Just this past 2 weeks, she found this picture of my father down in New Orleans, and she's bringing it to me now. I'm going to have a copy of it, of my father.
Great. What regiment did he fight in, Daisy?
1st New Jersey Cavalry. When he ran away, my father was on the plantation working for his master, and he with 27 other boys ran away, swam across the Rappahannock River, and joined the 1st New Jersey Cavalry in 6th from the war.
Was he a good fighter, your father? Did he fight hard for the Union?
Oh, yes, dear, he was a brave boy. Naturally, he had nothing else to do. He was a brave boy. He had to be brave to come up here in this country and make a living and get ahead and get on his feet and raise us family.
Colored people versus mixed people versus mulattoes versus brown skins versus dark skins versus light skins versus African Americans versus Caribbean. It's hard to have these conversations, at least in the way that we often do, if you understand that blackness is not a real thing. Black people are real, black culture is real, but blackness as a concept was created out of a function of separation, not distinction. What is real and what we are often talking about is the effects of the brutality and the ruthlessness of white folks and anybody else who has conspired with white folks under the idea that any human being can be better than another. Tell me why blackness is based off of your phenotype, because you understand yourself through how white people see you. White people have identified and labeled you. Why I don't like giving too much energy to whatever side in the African diaspora that we create. Because these conversations are often fueled by the imagination of white men. These conversations are often fueled by guessing what white people see in us before we've even decided that ourselves. And if you've been on my page, you understand why I advocate so much for people not to erase the black identity, but to get deeper, to dig deeper inside of their black identity. To understand that being black does not mean that you are not white. And you think I'm playing, but you'd be surprised at how much of us subconsciously believe that that is our identity. Being black, even from its origin, means that you are of the African diaspora. You are of African people of African descent. The issue I have with blackness is that it lives eternally in comparison. Being more attached to your African ancestry, you do not allow yourself to be understood comparatively. What is the opposite of a Bengali person? What is the opposite of a Singaporean person? What is the opposite of an Argentinian person? What is the opposite of a Zimbabwean person, of a Kenyan person? There is none. But you know what the opposite of a black person is? You know what the opposite of a white person is? I want all of us to remember that your story has been written long before white people, European people ever stepped foot on your continent. Jesus existed around 2,025 years ago. Around 2,000 years before that, the pyramids finished being built. Egyptian civilization existed and was thriving long before then. On top of that, there were other empires that existed at the same time. The Ethiopian Empire, the Kush Empire, the Nubian Empire. Yes, blackness is a very big part of our story, but do not let these white people convince you into believing that that is where your story began. Because if that was the truth, they wouldn't need to enslave you to build all of their empires, would they? If that was the case, they wouldn't be in Africa right now trying to extract Africa of all of the riches that it naturally has. The last point I want to make is blackness is exclusionary language. Why is that? Because it began to exclude you from whiteness. It's not the only way we understand blackness, but so much of how we understand blackness comes from how we have been excluded from whiteness. We're excluded from safety, how we're excluded from institutions, how we're excluded from access, how we're excluded from resources. What I love about claiming our Africanness and our African descent is that it is inclusionary language. It invites you to understand yourself in a certain way. It invites you to learn your story. It invites you to adopt a certain understanding of where you come from. Understanding that has nothing to do with white people. Because being honest, as much terror as these people have caused, they do not deserve enough power to change not only how you see your other people, but more importantly, yourself. Video right there. Peace out.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but a conservative is not a real thing. The right, someone who's leaning right, the far right is not a real thing. What you are seeing in front of you is a white supremacist. Remember the KKK? People in the white hoods? You know that we got people living, breathing today that can tell the story of the tyranny of the KKK? Remember Jim Crow laws? Remember how they used to depict us on the news? Remember the firefighters that used to let us burn alive in buildings? If we had people, our people, still alive to tell that story, where do you think the perpetrators from these stories went? Conservative. What exactly are these people conserving? This is American history. Go back to the Civil War. Who fought in the Civil War? The Union and the Confederacy. Please tell me what the Union believed in, and please tell me what the Confederacy believed in, and please tell me if left and right are good ways to describe those ideologies. Please tell me if a Nazi walked in your country and told you the things that white people say they want to do to us. Please tell me if you would describe that Nazi as right-leaning. Right-leaning. One of the best rebrands in U.S. history is white supremacists, imperialists, colonialists, rebranding as this right oppositional political ideology. Because in reality, politics discusses things like development, GDP, economy, families, structure. This country has convinced you that their hatred for your existence is a political ideology. And you believe them. And you act like there's anything political, anything intellectual, anything logistic about their arguments and their worldview. I'll simplify for everybody. There is no political debate for somebody who doesn't believe that you don't have the right to exist. On top of that, you think the left wants anything better for you either? This is the same left that won't even look you in your eyes and address to you what this country has done to you. Because when you're in the room, you're just American and everyone's colorblind. But as soon as you leave the room, you're a dirty black immigrant, whether you black American or not. And again, a country that has ever even needed to create a distinction between an American and a black American is telling you exactly how they feel about you. There is no left-right split in this country. It is white supremacy, colonialism, imperialism, class. And on top of that, you don't need to be white to be a white supremacist. Some of y'all are as dark as me and share these same sentiments. You gotta think big, because before we are fighting groups and people, we are fighting systems and power dynamics. And until you understand that, you will never understand what is going on in American politics. Peace out.
No, that's not what's happening. There isn't some dramatic increase in hatred between black people and white people. That's not what's happening at all. All of that shit is just the same. Okay? The way European Americans respond to black people, the same. The way non-black POCs respond to black people, the same. The way these leftists and these progressives respond to black people, the same. You know what's different? The way black people are now responding to the harm, the erasure, the alienation that all of these other groups do to us. This election, okay, and black people tried to warn y'all, this election sent a fucking loud and clear message to black people. Because when this entire country looking at black people, no matter what your stance on Palestine was, looking at black people and expecting all of us as a collective to jump on board with you, because all of you know how shitty you treat us. All of you. And you all have your own different ideologies about why you treat us the way that you treat us, but none of you want to listen to us. So you all had the fucking audacity to try to pit Black American struggle against the Palestinian struggle and expect Black Americans to choose Palestinians. You all did that. We didn't. But what you showed us when you tried to pit our struggle against the Palestinian struggle, and keep in mind I'm saying you as in you all, not you the person. When you all tried to pit our struggle against the Palestinian struggle, you know what that said to us? You don't care about either of us. You don't care about Palestinians. You don't care about Black Americans. You just want to win. And you feel about Palestinians just like you feel about Black Americans. We're all disposable to you. And Black America, we see that shit. All of these people out here that say they feel Palestine. No, you fucking don't. You can't feel Palestine while you are treating Black Americans the exact same way. It's not real. And America is treating Palestine. You just don't want to see us. But we value ourselves. And you're not going to kick the shit out of Black people in America. Not anymore. So that's the difference. Y'all are the same. Y'all the ones that ripped us out the motherfucking plastic though. Okay? We're the ones acting brand new. You ain't gonna walk all over Black lives anymore. We will fight back. No, that's not what. You're absolutely right. Reciprocity. That's what they're afraid of. Because they all know they got it fucking coming. And we should all know that we are worthy of and due respect. And I'm going to tell you, my people, this ain't got shit to do with social media. You're hearing me on this app, but please take this into real life. You deserve reciprocity because you're worthy of it. You are worthy of it. And you don't need a bunch of fancy words to demand it. You don't have to change, my people, not at all, to be worthy of reciprocity. You can be the same fucking bus driver you always been. Same cashier, same stay-at-home mom, same young and questioning Black mind. You can be the same doctor, the same teacher, the same nurse, lawyer. You can be the same brother looking for a job because you got felony convictions in a country where the fucking president has 34. And you deserve reciprocity. Don't let anyone try to talk you out of it. Not even these Black faces with white voices coming out their fucking head. You don't let nobody talk you out of your own worth. The worth of your people. Us as individuals and we the collective. Don't let nobody talk you out of it. They tried to do it over this last fucking election and we wouldn't go for it. And now they want to blame us for their piss poor choices. Reject that shit. Any table that you sit at, you ask them point blank, what's in it for me? If you don't like they fucking answer, get up from that table. I would prefer you come and sit with us. You have a right to your own self-determination. Black person, take control of that right. Yeah, shit's gonna be different in this country because we say so. They ain't gonna be counting our motherfucking votes before we cast them. They're not gonna be talking all over us. They are not going to depend on our work ethic because we working for us. Yes, reciprocity. They have it coming, and we deserve to be respected. Let's go get us some.
So this is all I got from this video. And the first stitch actually broke me because that country, sincerely speaking, at 12 years, and now they are still going to allow the fact that there is a Turner is sharing her 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 message and experience, because each time Black people talk about what happened, they tell you get over it. It's been long ago, but the people that experience majority of all this are still very much alive. So what are you trying to tell me? So each time you people try to tell Black people to shut up, you are a gaslighter. You are gaslighting them and trying to make it look like their experiences are not valid when you all know that they are valid. But you all have refused to read and understand about the history. Majority of them don't even know anything about history. It is that bad, right? And she also talked about how her own father, right? Man, it is really very disgusting. Very disgusting. What my own people put, like what they put them through, what they went through, and still going through to this very moment. And this is also one of the reasons why when they came out to say that slavery was beneficial to slaves. So sorry, tell me how people that look like me, young girls, are being great, and also when their children comes, they try to go under the baby. It's really amazing, really. There are some things you hear, your voice will immediately shrink. This is also part of it because I am not even finding my voice to talk about it. It's that bad. While making all of this research, the truth is that some of the things that happened during slavery, some of them are not even out. Like I feel like some things are still hidden that they did not talk about, or people do not know so much about. It's more like breeding. When they breed, can you imagine giving birth and right in front of your eyes, you do not have your child to nurture. You do not have your child to take care of. You do not have your child to breastfeed. Man, I am not gonna lie. Black people have endured a lot from these people. Black people endured so much because I don't know how. I do not have a child, but my heart is racing because I know I have seen I think once I saw my sister pregnant and I saw what she went through. It was a difficult period for her, and you can imagine with everything she went through, she had the baby, but she cannot hold the baby because they've sold out the baby. I am just putting myself in that shoe, and thinking how, it is a very sad thing, When people endure this for how many years? How many years? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.